Welcome to Match of the Day.
1-0! Oh, what a goal!
Yes, hello there and welcome, and I'm going to be taking a look at every soccer game released on the Amstrad. Yes, every single last one of them, apart from management, sims and spin-offs. It's got to be purely arcade soccer. And this is timed nicely to coincide with the World Cup, which, as per usual, England haven't got a chance in hell of winning. Now then, I absolutely love soccer games, and I was completely addicted to them in the arcades. Like this one, World Cup 90, I must have sunk hundreds of quids into. And Football Champ, and owning an Amstrad, I couldn't wait to get as many football games as I could. Unfortunately, most of them were rubbish. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to go through the soccer games in the Amstrad from A to Z. And we're going to start off with 4 Soccer Simulator, released by Codemasters. And we're taking, which is a 4-game compilation, and we're going to take a look at 11-a-side soccer on this, because basically the other 3 games were pretty much identical. I think one was Street Soccer, which is the same game, and I think it was a skill game as well. Anyway, so usual nice Codemasters presentation here, a nice menu screen, nice music. Although I'm sure I've heard this music before, Codemasters had a tendency to reuse stuff like that. Anyway, let's go for the easy difficulty level, because medium and hard are just too hard. I can't seem to get anywhere with that. Bit of a delay before kick-off for some reason. Alright, here we go. And here you're witnessing the first example of the zigzag technique, which you'll see I'll be using a lot of these crappy soccer games. Always seems to do the trick. And within the first few seconds I've scored. Yeah, goalkeepers are rubbish on this as well. They're just there to seem to be there just to deflect the ball. They don't actually catch it. There's very little skill in terms of this game, in terms of like you can only kick the ball along the ground at the same pace, so you can't like do so you can't loft the ball up or do swerve shots or anything like that. Although the computer seems to be able to do chips and stuff like that and send it off at odd angles. This game is also pretty bug ridden. See that number 1 appearing above my guy's head there? Occasionally when you change to move players, that number 1 seems to sort of fly around the screen and you're left not in control of anything, whilst the computer dribbles it into the back of the net. Anyway, let's see what they do here. I think my keeper's going to be rubbish and miss the ball. There you go. I'll give it 4 out of 10, although it was on budget with 3 of the football games, so, you know, can't complain too much. Anyway, Fiveaside Soccer, released by Silverbird. Not a good... Oh! Sampled speech there. I was going to say, it doesn't look a very good intro screen, but here's the real one. Some okay-ish music. Not looking too bad so far. They've bothered to do sampled speech in it. Let's start the game. Oh dear. Well, it is a budget release. How rubbish that was. Maybe I need to select a higher difficulty level or something. And maybe this might be more fun in 2-player. But it's hardly sophisticated, is it? Let's see what the computer does to the ball. Gives it away pretty easily. Oh, well, at least the goalkeeper saved it that time. I've never played this one before. I found most of these soccer games by doing a search on the CPC Power website. I thoroughly recommend that site, even if it is in French. You can use Google Translate and convert it to English. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty dire. Suppose if you paid £1.99 for it on budget, you can't really complain that much. Might be fun as 2-player, but anyway, 3 out of 10. Oh, you can chip the ball. Not much point. There's such a small playing area. Fiveaside Soccer, a Mastertronic, although released on its M.A.D games label. Some lovely music on this actually, by the legendary Rob Hubbard. He's more famous for his brilliant Commodore 64 soundtracks and music, but not a good intro screen so far. Oh dear. This looks worryingly similar to Arctic's World Cup game, which is probably one of the last games you'll see in these videos, given its W. And we've just walked it into the net. See how amateurish and basic this is. Yeah, keeper doesn't catch the ball, just sort of flings it out when it comes near him. Horrible colour clash there. There we go. I've had enough of that. 1 out of 10. Or maybe 2 out of 10 because there's worse, believe it or not. Anyway, Adidas Championship Football released by Ocean. Now, I had a real problem getting this game running. I couldn't get it to work in a WinApe emulator. Caprice emulator never seems to install properly. I can't get it to install on any of my computers. So, I've had to do this in CPC EMU, which is a really decent emulator, if rather basic. And I've had to use Hypercam to capture this live. But unfortunately it's not captured any sound or music. Believe me, there was some lovely music on these screens here. Although when I was playing it actually in game, there was no music or sound effects. Anyway, here's the game. And it's the first decent football game we've come across so far on this A to Z. It's actually rather playable. I actually quite enjoy this actually. There's a power meter which you can raise up before you get to the ball. So as soon as you get onto the ball, he takes a shot quickly, which allows for some interesting stuff like one-touch football if you're really good. Controlling it is a little bit difficult. Obviously the ball skids off in front of you, and which direction you are facing when you land on the ball, that's where the ball will go. So trying to turn around or whatever is quite hard actually. I'm sure there's probably a better way of controlling it. I just haven't worked it out because I haven't really played this game much. But this is actually rather good for an 8-bit football game. Obviously it's a top-down view, reminiscent of like Kickoff and stuff like that, but it's miles better than Kickoff 1 and 2, which you'll see later on. And I think the difficulty is just right in this actually. I did play a couple of other matches. I did actually do England versus USA, which is the most recent England match in the World Cup we've just had, and we drew 1-1 and we're absolutely fucking rubbish as usual. And it was a lot easier to play. Denmark are sort of an average to okay team, and they're putting up quite a fight in this one. None of this like walking the goal into the back of the net on a... Oh, they've scored! Nice screen there celebrating the goal. And as I was just saying, yeah, there's none of this rubbish of walking the ball into the back of the net. Goalkeepers are pretty decent on this, though you can catch them out with some skills. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to give that one 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed that one actually. Right, Ams Soccer. Oh dear. One of the earliest football games ever. It was 1986 when this came out by Computersmith, who I've never heard of. And signs are not looking good so far. Amstrad Rovers. Oh dear. Some awful title screen music there as well if you missed that. Oh dear. Just look at this. This is basically like a football version of Pong. I mean, the ball just skids around the football pitch like it's on an ice rink. And all you can seem to do is, if you go near the ball, it's just like nudge it on, perhaps in a different direction. and the goalkeepers are like pong bats, just bouncing the ball back. I don't think the ball ever stops moving. I mean, this isn't really football, this isn't really soccer, this is just pong with a silly makeover, and they should really advertise it as that. But hey, this was 1985 or 1986. Oh, and they've scored. Ah, what a load of bloody rubbish. Oh, I'll give this game 1 out of 10. Anyway, see you on the next part. Cheers.